case on that shirt. You
Oh,
got Near
absolutely.
Dark. I was trying to think, is there a theme outside of horror? But it's just a bunch of like,
Yeah.
just great movies. Because there's one like I've seen where it's all the Cronenberg movies like
Oh,
stacked up.
right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like the OCD in me also was trying to kind of work out
Yeah.
everything.
Must find the pattern.
Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk to me. We are, of course, talking about the amazing Destroy All Neighbors, which I have to say was such a unbelievably fun watch. Like, honestly, I know it's very early in the year, but like, it's probably my favorite movie so far.
Yay.
There we go.
So Josh, just starting with you, I think I read that this was sort of, or the idea of this was kind of based on like a crazy neighbor that you had. Is that right?
Yeah, I lived in an apartment in East Hollywood with my wife, and we just had a neighbor who you would just hear him screaming all the time, or he would, he would just bang on the walls. Like, you would hear we'd hear weird noises like rattling of keys, and I'd look out the window or look out in the hallway, and he would just be drunk, like trying to jam his key in. And then we also had a guy up the street who looked a lot like a Vlad type character, who had like, it's just this big guy who would like throw couches and stuff. It's just crazy. And then so I had those stories, and I was talking to my buddy Charlie, and he had some doozies as well. He had a neighbor he had videotapes of his neighbor going like, hey, touch my muscles, Charlie. Touch my muscles. Like weird. Like not just an asshole, but like a weird psychological weirdo. So that was kind of the genesis of it, where it was like, what if we use this as a bit of therapy and kind of catharsis it.
Yeah, no, I think that's such a great springboard. I was actually thinking of so I lived in a really weird it was an old house that was converted to apartments. And one day I was coming home. I lived so close to work that I could just walk home for lunch. And one of my neighbors was passed out naked in the hallway.
Oh.
So yeah.
Wait, where do you live? Because I might know this guy.
Yeah, it was insane. But yeah. So now a question for Alex and Jonah. How did you all get involved with this project?
Josh had approached me about it. He's like, would you be interested in doing a horror comedy that's a little bit of Delicatessen and a little bit of Evil Dead 2? And I said, yes. Then he's like, well, let me send you the stuff. I said, please give me money now. And then he's like, well, just wait. Maybe I don't even really want you. I said, no, now it's my movie. Get out of here. I'm the captain. Yeah, I was like immediately like down, because I knew Josh and I liked his work a lot, and I knew that from his music videos and stuff like that, it's like, oh, this is something he can pull off, and it's something that I would definitely want to do, and like something I've been like looking for, when it came to more acting roles in film. And as Josh and I started kind of working on it, I was like we would always kind of be like, it's like, yeah, we wanted to kind of be like Freaked. We wanted to kind of be like that throwback to practical effects and Henenlotter. And during this time, I started becoming friends with Alex, because we had offices near each other, and I was just like, we were like, it's like, I want to be cool with Alex. I was like, yeah, right, that'll never happen. Let's just keep on figuring it out, asking our friends. And then Bill and Ted 3 came out, which was so great, and really kind of like, it was like that movie. Actually, I realized, Josh, it's like that Bill and Ted 3 was kind of kicked us in the butt of being like, because that was such a great movie, and it had like so much heart in it as well. We're like, it's like, we can do this too. And like, we're like, and fuck it, Alex is back in makeup. Let's have him be makeup in our fucking movie. And then of course I was like, hey, here's the thing we're working on. Do you want to be involved in any way? So.
Yeah, it's not common to to get to do something in full prosthetics that also has, the kind of comic spirit that I like. And, and with a collective of people who are like-minded and want to make the same kind of movie, that was like too good to pass up. And it was, I knew that I could bring some of the folks from my world into it to help, and which was what everyone did. Everyone brought folks from their world in to help. That was how this movie got made. It got made with a lot of love and sort of a collective artistic spirit. And that was also just a fun, kind of really unique experience. But I mean, I love physical effects. I love practical effects, and I love acting in them. And it's not common to do it. I don't want to. There's not a lot of movies I would do that for. And you know, when they come along, I usually don't want to do them. But this was much more than a throwback to me. This was like something about people who dig practical effects, but also have a very, I would say, very modern, sophisticated view of comedy. And it was that combination that I don't get to see done too often. They do it more in the UK than they do it here. It's more common there, I'd say, than it is in the US.
Yeah, and Alex, that's a great segue into the prosthetic process. What was that process like? Like, how long did it take? You were working with the incredible Gabe Bertelis, who obviously was like a longtime Penn and Lauder alumni. So that must have been really cool.
Yeah, it was great. Bill Corso came in to do my applications in Paint, and was working in partnership with Gabe, who had created the whole design for my character and all the characters. Sort of had this sort of overarching concept that he invented, which was really cool. And then we got into the nitty gritty of how we were going to make this work practically, so that I would have, you know, as much expression as possible, as much breathing as possible. Application takes, it's like 3 hours nowadays, I guess. I don't really care about that stuff so much. I'm one of those rare actors that doesn't mind doing prosthetic work. Like I'm a patient fella, so if I know the end result's going to be good, I'll take however much time. And the other fun thing about doing prosthetics is when you're acting, especially if you direct, which I do, is that I'm the only person on set who just like goes and sits in a chair, doesn't worry about anything, watches the hours go by. like right across set, everyone's in like full panic mode, right? I'm just like slurping my Starbucks, like,
you were always so zen. You were always like, you were just kind of like, you'd be done, you kind of wander onto set. You're like, hey, how's it going over here?
It's like everyone's on fire. I'm like, maybe I'll look at my sides again. What's my dial?
I really use your help.
That's awesome. Now, how would you compare that to like Freaked? With that, obviously, it was like a lot of makeup prosthetics. Like, how long was that process compared to?
Well, Corso did both. He did the applications on Freaked as well. So a lot of the same people.
Nice.
It's changed a bit. It's faster. It's probably an hour. It was probably 4.5 and change getting into Ricky. Plus, Ricky had all the mouth stuff, which was really quite invasive. I'm glad I did it, but it like tore my face to pieces. And then I was directing, I was co-directing with Tom Stern, and that made it harder because I was not getting any sleep. So being able to just show up. I mean, and, you know, the Bill and Ted's I don't direct either, and those require a lot of makeup. The old men makeups in Bill and Ted 3 took us hours and hours to do with Kevin Yeager. So if I'm just acting, it's much easier, frankly.
Nice. And Jonah, this obviously you have so many great moments of physical comedy. What was that like, and what was the most challenging aspect of that of like the physical stuff in this film?
Well, yeah, thanks. I mean, I guess like the one that was trickiest for me, because it's such a fine line, was like trying to like make something seem a little more lifelike, like in your hands. I'm fine with falling. I like falling. Like I like slipping. I like getting hit. Like it's like, you know, like I'm a tall guy and I got these like long limbs, and so like, you know, I like, you know, like using those and exaggerating those. But I think like, yeah, there was when the leg is like hopping away, like grabbing that and doing the thing, and not trying to look like a tired, you know, Chevy Chase doing an old like, you know, routine. Like you know, like just like a guy, you know, like, you know, because I used to try and do that stuff a lot. Like when I was a kid, I had a lot of younger cousins, and so I would do like, you know, like magic and clown stuff and goof off, like do little shows for them at birthday parties. And like, you know, like one of the things I had was like this squirrel puppet thing that had a spring in it, and like, you know, the little things you can do to kind of like make it look like it's climbing all over you and stuff. And but like that part's difficult because it's just like, and it also like, you know, all acting is stupid, but like you really feel it when you're going like doing that kind of thing. So that was probably the most challenging out of all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you really bring it to life, and I mean, that's the other thing is like I just adore this movie I mean, for many reasons, but also the just the physical comedy, but the practical effects. I mean, everything, you know, you can tell probably what 99% of it is all live on screen that you're filming. Which is, it was so cool. I love that. So it looks like I need to wrap up, but I was wondering, you know, for a question for everybody, what do y'all have going on that maybe you can talk about, like any future projects?
I can't really talk about the ones I'm working on right now. I'm sort of sworn to silence.
I guess like you know, I have a small little part in Suitable Flesh, which comes out the week after this movie on Shudder. It's directed by Joe Lynch, stars Barbara Crampton and Heather Graham.
Ooh, nice.
It's you know, it's an old script that you know, from the universe of like Reanimator and all that. So that's like that, and like on DVD or Blu-ray just came out Satanic Hispanics, which is 5 different Latino directors. That, and then yeah, I think that's what I got. And then later in the year, I'm in some a heist gone wrong thriller that I shot last January in Iowa by Michael Blevins. So we'll see when we'll see. I got shingles during the shoot, and we were outside at night a lot in January in Iowa. So we'll see. I don't remember any of it because I was in pain the whole time. So,
and are you doing any more? I know you had an episode of Faster Purple Worm Kill Kill. Are you going to be doing more of that? Because that's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that came out. Yeah, that's like it's a D&D show produced by Matthew Lillard, and yeah, I did 2 episodes of that. Like I was only supposed to do 1, and then they brought me back.
Just reeled you in, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Just when you think you're out, they keep bringing me back in.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's goofing off with like Matthew Lillard, you know? Come on, of course.
Nice.
And I have a documentary that I've been doing on the comedian Gallagher that I've been working on for a long time, and we're getting close to the end on that one, and I think that's going to be a weird kind of counterpoint to this movie. You know, we'll see how people take it, but
that's great. And thank you all so much. I mean, huge fans of all y'all. Like, also, I just want to mention, like, Jonah, I loved your time at Mystery Science Theater. That was so amazing. Alex freaked. It was and is my all-time favorite movie. I wore out the VHS.
Oh, thank you.
So
thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. And y'all need to check this out. It's premiering on Shudder this Friday. And oh my gosh, y'all need to check it out. It is amazing. Thank you all so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.